want to talk about something that's a little touchy. I want to talk about why there is a war, and just from my understanding, from what I've been getting, and then I'm going to look into it a little further. There's a war on Christians, there's a war on Christianity. Why? That particular entity that was in power is no longer in power. That particular, when I was hardcore just for a good 4 years, because I'm not a person that grew up in the church. Even though I went to church as a little girl, I didn't have a family that really pushed it. I mean, we went to church, but they weren't hardcore Christians like that. They weren't like preaching scripture and all that stuff, right? So I can't really say I grew up in the church, even though I went when I was a little girl. So I'm not rooted in the church like some people are. And but I did make a decision as an adult to go to church consistently, and I was literally kind of very loyal, hardcore. Read the Bible every year. I was involved in ministry. I was like altar worker and stuff like that. But I wanted to be more than the altar work. I don't like this busy work. Like I want to be in the intercessory prayer and stuff like that, and like deliverance. I like that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in just a lot of busy work, right? Just being busy in the church. I wasn't into that stuff, and still not. I like that kind of stuff today, even though it might be called something different, right? But I want to say I'm not a Christian anymore. And the reason why is because I realized you have to get to know yourself and know what's right for you. That was a part of my journey. Me being a Christian for, I'm going to say, a good 4 years, and really doing everything I felt like I was supposed to do. It's not even I felt like I was supposed to do. I literally wanted to go, you can't go 100% by the Bible because every story in there is not for you. Right, but I did as much as I thought I was supposed to do. Okay, like you would see a Muslim. Okay, a devoted Muslim. That's how I was. I wasn't having sex, but then at the same time, you don't have to be a Christian for that, because I'm still not doing anything, and it's because it's too much liabilities around here. I like myself. I feel safe with myself. But anyway, there's a war on Christians, and it's because, just me. It's people don't realize it, but some people do and some people don't. That particular entity, that particular type of Christian God is no longer in power. Christianity took over the world. Took over the world. I know people want to talk about so-called black people and Africans, and no, Christianity took over the world. Took over the world. I mean, it's very rare, but it's some Indians that are Christians. And god dang, how they do that? Now, I know a lot of them in the other religions, like Hindu and stuff like that. But it's a lot of Koreans, it's a lot of Chinese, they're Christians. That's how strong that particular entity was. You convert somebody to your religion, you get more power. And so that's why it used to be said, you denounce God or Jesus or you get beheaded, because it was like rumored, because I don't want to really get into thinking that's going to be part of my reality, but that Islam was going to take over again and stuff like that, and they was going to tell you to denounce Jesus or you get beheaded with the, what you call those things? You know what I mean. And people thought Obama was going to be one of those people to a spearhead, something like that, But anyway, yeah, you either denounce Jesus or get beheaded, because that's what Christians did. People don't get that. That's what Christians, the Christian Crusaders. I don't think people really get that's what they did. It was a lot of bloodshed to make Christianity dominant. For some reason, people want to make it seem like it's this sweet religion. They want to make it seem like it's a very sweet religion. I don't want to really make this about too much race, but you ask a lot of white people, they would tell you that it was a lot of blood. You ask some black people too, but some black people as Christians, I don't know. they seem to be more hardcore than any other group of people that I've seen. But I feel like that's because so-called black people are very emotional and spiritual, naturally very spiritual people. So they're going to be more it's going to be harder for the so-called black person that's rooted in Christianity. It's going to be harder for them to let go because they're naturally more emotional. They have more emotions and, soul. And spiritual people, these other people, they're not like that, right? So they don't have that, that type of energy on them. And so it seems to be like brown people they're more into it. It's harder to let go, right? Now you ask somebody who really knows their Christianity, for that to come in power, they took out nations, right? They took over nations. It was bloodshed to convert, making them convert. No different from these reports of Islam is going to tell people to denounce Jesus or get beheaded. But it's not just denouncing Jesus. They're going to get anybody who's a part of that area that they can get their hands on to convert to whatever their religion is, because that's how they are in power. Now, I don't know, depending on what kind of reality you're going to be in, that might not happen in everybody's reality. Depending on whose side you're on. Are you on the other side of nature, Mother Nature? Are you on the side of, that type of stuff right there? So I don't know if everybody's going to see that type of reality. Christianity, I read the Bible so many times, and, it's questionable even for me. How did women even get so... How do women even get so hardcore into that religion when you read the Bible, it's a hatred for women. There's clearly a hatred for women. I don't know. It seems like once you get out of the mess and you get more into hindsight is 2020. You see the literal hatred for women. There's a hatred for the feminine. There's a hatred for the feminine. Even in the New Testament, there's a hatred for the feminine. And you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, but they ain't mention nothing about the female or nothing. They don't like the feminine. But a lot of females, we kind of like manipulated into a religion that freaking hates women. Right? And it'll be hard for a lot of women to see that today, but that's because their indoctrination is deep. It's deep. It's rooted. They're indoctrinated. They're rooted in that indoctrination. Right? But, anyway, that particular entity is no longer in power, and it's other powers that might want to take over, and they don't like that mixed consciousness like that, and they definitely want to get Christianity out the way. They're trying to remove Christianity because that entity is no longer in power. This is just what it is. It's no longer in power. And you see these people put out these movies on Christianity. They're trying to maintain their power. They're trying to maintain their power because this Jesus has a certain image, right? Jesus has a certain image. So whatever image they try to put up of God is going to have a certain image too, right? Even though people say, well, God don't have, but yeah, you can say God don't look like anything. You can say Jesus don't look like anything. People say it don't matter. But all around the media, there is a shared image of what Jesus looked like all over the world. All over the world, except for in Latin American areas or just Latin areas. That Jesus looked like them, but it's still a European type of features anyway, right? Still European features, But anyway, yeah. So regardless, people say it don't matter. No, there's an image you put out there of what that looked like, and the image you put out there means a lot. And the people that do that, they know better. So I really don't like that argument. Those people keep putting out these movies and all this stuff about Christianity because they want to make sure they stay in power. They're going to keep pushing it. And because they have a strong media, that it helps to keep Christianity strong. Okay? But it's them that want to stay in power. Okay? It's them that want to stay in power. Now, yeah, so yeah. I believe just the overall attack on Christians too is because Um, and I've seen this a lot, and I'm glad I've departed from that type of religion because it's intrusive. Let me tell you something. Like if I'm on the street, I don't have to tell a Christian my business. You don't need to know what I believe in, and you ask me my life because you're trying to minister me the goodness of Jesus Christ, and you all up in my fucking Kool-Aid. And you think you have the right to get in my business because you call yourself a Christian. It's just one particular guy I've seen. I'm not going to put this on the whole community, and that's the super soldier community. I would not underestimate the super soldiers, especially those that understand the quantum world, especially those that are masters in physics and all this stuff, and they understand the doggone matrix better than anybody else do. A lot of people do. They like on the level of Elon Musk or better with this doggone matrix. They understand everything. They understand everything about what this really is, the simulation and everything. And it's just one particular guy that I looked at. He's a cyborg, right? Cyborgs are plenty. There's a lot of cyborgs. And he wants to go to war with the Christians. He wants to destroy the Christians. And it's not even about, I don't feel like it's about he cares about what people believe because there's a lot of other religions out there. For me, Christians are intrusive. I don't mean this to offend anybody who's a Christian. I don't mind you being a Christian as long as you just keep it to yourself. But for the most part, anybody can tell you on anybody's panel that I've gone to, if they say anything that's different than the message of Jesus Christ, Christians will fill up their comment section with their beliefs. Christians, those type of invasive, intrusive Christians are a pain in the ass, and a lot of people want to unalive them. Because I think because they feel like they are a part of a religion, they have a right to disrespect people. They think they have the right they can use the name of Jesus to be freaking disrespectful and get in everybody's face and get on everybody's page and put them down and tell them what they should believe. Right? But me reading the Bible so many times, Paul tells the Christians, even though Paul didn't call himself a Christian, he didn't call himself a Christian. Because truth be told, Christian was meant to mock people that were so-called Jesus followers. What was it, in Antioch? They were first called Christians in Antioch, and it was meant to mock people who followed Jesus. And so Paul never called himself a Christian, that character of Paul. Because me being a Christian in 2007, I took the Holy Land tour, and I didn't see none of those folks in the Bible. I'm just saying, I ain't seen none of them in the Bible. I went on the Holy Land tour in 2007. I went to Israel. I went to Jerusalem. I went to Bethlehem. I went to where Jonah was supposed to be swallowed by the big whale. I went all over. Tel Aviv. I was all over. I didn't see any graves of these people. I didn't see Abraham, Mary, Joseph. I didn't see Isaac. I didn't see Ishmael. I didn't see Paul, Saul. Well, Paul and Saul is the same. He became Paul. But anyway, but I didn't see the King Saul from, in King David. I didn't see those people. Where are they? I don't know. Where are they? Okay, where are they? And I said this to a relative of mine. Well, that's the devil trying to fool you and to say it ain't real. Why don't people have graves? Why is no evidence that these people existed? No evidence at all. At all. Okay? And people who know can say that a lot of stuff was taken from Egypt, right? But a lot of stuff that come from Egypt came from matriarchy though. So hey. So you got other patriarchs that want to fuss about what the Christianity patriarchs did. But those patriarchs took all their stuff and turned these masculine deities, it come from the matriarchy. They turned all these feminine into the masculine. I just don't see too many people that want to talk about that matriarchy yet though. Even women. It's almost like it's easier to talk to men about this than it is to talk to a female these days about this. Like, females got it strong. Like, it's strong in the female. It's strong in the female. Especially an older female. But a lot of females at this point in this type of world, they not really gonna take their place back, because it's not that they too far gone. It has to be a point of no return. Like, it can't be nowhere else to go but to the correct way. Like, let me say, as long as their life look good, as long as things look good, and whatever is going for the female, regardless of how crazy this stuff look, as long as they're able to get whatever they want, for them, it's no going back to how the natural order. It's no going back to the natural order for a lot of so-called females, because even though this type of world is messed up, they still find a way to make it work. And so there's no going back to the natural order for them, because they find a way to make this work. And going back to the natural order is like really in you. It's not a physical place. It's actually in you. The dimensions, for me, dimensions are within you. It's not outside anywhere. Okay? So it's not like it's not like the earth is going to change, because the earth is, I thought earth was physical. The physical body. It's not a real planet. It's not real. The earth isn't real. Okay. But, yeah, so, yeah, that guy that was a super soldier talking about he wanted to kill Christians, but I feel like it's because maybe just a lot of Christians are very disrespectful. And because of that particular entity that was in power, a lot of Christians go around other people wanting to force others into converting. And so you got other people that's trying to come into power, that super soldier being one of them. Okay, that super soldier is trying to create a super soldier community, right? And so you got other super soldiers that's coming into power that's ready to go to war with Christians. Because that is the most problematic religion, okay, to them. Even though there's other religions out there. Now, this particular super soldier, they're not allowed for any other different type of belief than whatever they believe in their AI believe. Okay, but still, they definitely got their eye on the Christians as number one to go after. Okay, because the Christians are just louder a lot of times. They're just louder. I really rarely see any Muslims or anybody really wanting to force people into becoming whatever their religion is. Not the way I see Christians. You rarely see anybody from the Nation of Islam in people's comment sections and kind of talking to people and telling them why they should convert. Now you see some, but I don't see them flooding the comment sections and flooding the chats the way Christians do. Okay, so that is the number one group of people that a lot of these folks are after. Okay. But anyway, that's a tough type of conversation, but it's all about which God is in power. And that particular God of Christianity is no longer in power. It's not a lot of energy that's been given to this God of Christianity. No more energy the energy that used to be given to this God is not being given to it anymore. And so that God is losing a lot of power. I think I'm going to say that God is pretty much dead, honestly. That God is no longer ruling. It's a different God that's ruling. Okay? I want to call it the God of AI. Okay? The God of maybe technology. I don't know. Okay? But anyway, like I said, it depends on which side you choose, though, what you might see in the world. That's why I don't get on everybody talking about they want to say what they want to just keep people up to date with what's happening in the world. Everybody's not going to be in the same world. So the world is not just one thing. It's multiple worlds. And it depends on how you want to see things. It just depends on the perception that you choose to have. Everybody's not going to see the same thing. Okay? So everybody's not going to see the same thing. So, when you like me and you realize this is a simulation, I can't really get into nobody wanting to convert me to anything. Because I understand or understand that this is a simulation and nothing is really happening. Nothing is real. Our true selves are really asleep. Okay. So, that's all. And I will talk later.